Hello there. We are underway in celebrating our first year anniversary. And if you don't already know about it, I'm hosting a raffle and giving away more than $2,000 worth in cash and prizes. So if you or a friend have access to an Apple product, you can enter to win. For the complete details, go to sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. All right, here we go with another soulful episode.
I was attending a very charismatic prayer group and trying to immerse myself. I did so many rosaries and litanies and novenas and all kinds of things because I was in the space of suffering. And that traditional religious kind of a culture was my way of cocooning myself and protecting myself. So instead of seeking, drugs or alcohol or some other, thing, I was inundating myself with anything I could put myself around with that felt safe, right?
Hi there. My name is Tessa Lynne Alburn. Welcome to Say Yes to Your Soul. This is where we're going to talk about how you can get past your spiritual plateaus, raise your feminine energy, and express your true self with sparkle. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to introduce you to a fabulous woman. She's got a ton of energy. She's just, whenever we talk, there's just like 5,000 words every single second. And her name is Jessica Koch. Jessica is a leading sales expert and creator of her own virtual assistant membership program. So if you had no idea what that means, is basically she's running a whole team of experts that helps businesses all over the world to manage their systems, like their CRMs and their marketing, et cetera, et cetera. Jessica, welcome to my show.
Thank you, Tessa. Yeah, you are definitely... You said hello so calmly as you opened your show. And when I opened my own podcast show, I'm like,
exactly. You're like gangbusters.
All of energy. It's true. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. So I would, would you like to add anything on to like who you are in the professional world?
I think I'll just tell you a little bit of just who I am, just for a few seconds in general. So who is Jessie? I'm 50 and fabulous. I'm still finding out who I am. I am deeply in love with my husband and dearest friend. He is both. And I have 7 children and 7 grandchildren. And I really, I love my life. But I have been, over the course of the years that I've started this company, you mentioned to me before we started the podcast about listening to my soul. And to me, that really means I've plugged into the ultimate creator, and I'm really following and easily stepping into the path that was designed for me. And I think I've been doing a lot of that since the day my company started. And the beginnings of how the company started too, in addition. And I feel like we've been on this exploration journey, and I'm at a pivotal moment again where, literally today, that I was sitting on the front porch before this call with my face in the sunshine and knowing that I am scheduling time later this evening to check in with myself again, and not just with me, but more deeply with my soul, as I think you phrased it, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Check in with your soul to reorganize and adjust and find more clarity based on what I've learned in the journey, from where I've been, with much gratitude and joy along the way and excitement. But knowing that it's time for some adjustments, because I'm not quite there to living the life that I see for myself and for my family coming forward. So I'm in this space of trying to really strongly connect, get guidance and clarity and direction from my soul so that I can continue this journey.
Beautiful. And, I think we all have like our own definitions of soul, but the way that you're talking about it right now, there was clearly like a pivot, a turning point, if you will, prior to you starting your business. What would you say that sort of that transition was like for you? Like going from the, whatever your old paradigm was to sort of this more soulful paradigm?
I've been, as long as I can remember, I've been very prayerful, even very religious, and even very spiritual since I was a very small child. And because of some of the things I experienced as a really small child, and I mean, probably at least 5 years old, I feel like that started for me. I had in preschool, I had a fascinating connection with nature. So I think that was me kind of learning God, or for me, God, or, my soul and spiritual journey began with that. When I lived in Maine as a preschooler, there were leaves felt like larger than me in the most beautiful colors in the fall, and fields beyond my seeing brilliantly bright with yellow dandelions, which, would make some gardeners cringe, right? Because they call it a weed. But to me, it was the most beautiful field of yellow on the planet. And snow so deep and so cooled, it burned, but was sparkly and fascinating and exciting, and trees that I climbed and snowmen that I built. And there was just a lot of beauty in nature. So I guess it really started when I was in preschool in Maine at 3 years old. And then as I moved to California, also, again, very fascinating nature things occurred, but also some abuse, and also some beautiful things occurred in my childhood. There was earthquakes, multiple. I was in California when Mount St. Helens erupted. And so there was the ashes, and there was a dam that broke. And so we were flooded out of our home and transported through emergency things. I was just really, lots of different things were happening. But I went to Sunday school, and I went to church, and I was raised in a religious formal piece. And I still have some of that it remains with me, but I feel I'm more spiritual now than I am religious, with any certain specific thing. So I think that's a little bit of my soulful journey, if that makes sense.
Yes. And I would love to know for you, when you started to transition into more spiritual rather than religious, what brought that about? Do you recall?
I think it was a combination of going through, I was married for 7 years in a very physically, violently, and an abusive relationship. And at that point, I was still very religious too. I attended mass on a regular basis. I read my Bible every day, which I still often do, but I was attending a very charismatic prayer group and trying to immerse myself. I did so many rosaries and litanies and novenas and all kinds of things, because I was in the space of suffering. And that traditional religious kind of a culture was my way of cocooning myself and protecting myself. So instead of seeking, drugs or alcohol or some other, thing, I was inundating myself with anything I could put myself around with that felt safe. Right?
Yes.
Because I wasn't currently safe. And then as I transitioned out of that, and that person left me, and I had this time in the middle, and that till I met my new amazing, he is an extension of my soul and my energy. We are better. The energy of us is better together than separate. And in my healing and saturation and such a just honest and pure and beautiful, simple love that I experienced as I had this relationship with my husband now, in that space, I was able to heal more than I healed even with traditional therapy or counseling and all the things I did to try to recover from some of my past trauma. And him and I came together in a place of prayer and mindfulness. And he has a very scientific mind, and he's just so incredibly smart. And then we just started to together have deeper conversations over the course of the years we've been together, of how it's so much deeper than what a human earthly based religion can manage, because it's limited by us who are humans and we have limits,
Yeah.
right? And so it just felt like, with the vibrations and energies of everything and everything he knew about science and everything we just felt, it just, we've transitioned as a couple in this journey, I think, to be much more open to, how the planets and stars affect our moods, and the globe itself in scientifically shown things, and how the waves are pulled by the moon, and why wouldn't logically we also be, and how everything has a vibration and an energy and a life, and how so connected we are, past, present, and future, in this way that is a bit beyond our imagining, right? And just always keeping that door in our mind open for that. And I think we've kind of done that together in that journey. So probably through the course of that transition, I have shifted powerfully in a spiritual space.
It sounds like you certainly did. And of course, my audience can't see your face right now, but you're just like glowing as you're, going through some of the emotion and the feelings, and you're recalling things. It sounds like, in a way, you and your husband were destined, to come together and be on that journey of awakening together. And you gave it spaciousness. Like, you didn't say this, but I get this sense like you didn't force anything. You were just really in this beautiful place together, and it kept unfolding and unfolding, and your curiosity got more, not less, more about the world, the cosmos. Where do we fit in? And what I also love about your story and the way you're sharing it today is you're sharing it in a way that isn't judging of other things. It's not judging religion. It's not saying that's bad, right? It's not criticizing it. It's just saying, factually, there are limitations. And then what happened for you is, as you continued to connect to nature, and then you got some really big trauma nature, also some cataclysmic nature, when you went out to California, all that was stirring things up. And then, thankfully that first husband left you, and you're safe.
Yes.
And now you have the safety of love, and the safety of connection, and the safety of soul.
Yeah, I do. And it's fascinating because my husband and I are sure that we've always found each other in the past, and we will always find and connect each other in the future for all eternity or beyond, whatever that number is. We just know that we will seek one another and that we are meant to be connected.
Lovely. You're an inspiration to a lot of my listeners today. It's possible, ladies. Yes, yes. Yeah. So I would love to know, like, now, so you're going through this other transition, you're sort of going through some kind of deepening now in your business and maybe in some other areas of your life. How do you know, if you could express this, how do you know when you're connecting with your soul, Jessica?
Because whenever I have what most people will call a problem or a challenge or a fear or a worry, I go into this space, and it's what I've been planning all day in my mind. I go into this space, I've kind of been preparing for it all day, where I meditate and where I connect and where I take a deep breath and where I bring whatever this is to God, the creator, or whatever you're comfortable with. But for me, it's God, just because that seems simplistic. I bring this puzzle. I call it a puzzle instead, first of all, because puzzles are fun and solvable. And we enjoy doing puzzles. And this way I can bring whatever that thing is to God, the creator, for me in a way I'm grateful for it. So here this is a puzzle. Puzzles are fun and they're beautiful and wonderful. And puzzles are to be celebrated. And so I can bring it with him to start with, him or her. I don't really have a gender for God, the creator.
They.
Whatever. That energy, that is God.
Yes.
I can bring him, for just needing a term, with gratitude and excitement and the joy of a child. and the joy of knowing for certain he can begin to unravel it and show me the pieces and where they fit. And in my meditation, they begin to move around, and opportunities and options that had been all around me start to show themselves of where they fit, so that the solution is powerful and joyful and benefits far more than me. That's when I know I'm connecting, because that can't just be from me, myself. That is me connecting in with a deeper mind and a deeper energy that is past, present, and future, and creator of all.
That is so rich. And I get this feeling, like you mentioned play and like bringing the puzzle. I want to come back to that in a second. But there's also this quality of just being in awe of the unfolding, whatever that is, right? Of the puzzle solution. Like just being open and in the flow, not controlling anything, total trust. It's really beautiful.
One of my other prayers is, one of my other plans is I have a brand new journals I have bought and that are beautiful, like with the Monet painting on them, and just really, really almost like sacred journals. They're so beautiful and pristine. I haven't written in them yet. And I decided that one of the things as part of my process later today, because I told you I've been noodling this all day, is later this evening when I've scheduled this time to have this experience, I plan on writing out a prayer, if you would, almost of where I want the transformation to look like, so that God can lead me to the solution. Because I know that he will, and I know that he has the answer. That's the other exciting thing. It's just a matter of me being open to receive it.
That is amazing. And I love how you have also created, like, this is important to you. It's a priority, right? You're scheduling it. You're creating the space. And then you're also like in the planning of it before you show up for it, right? Like you've already set your intention earlier in the day. You're in the spirit of the prayer, the connection with source, with God, and the process is already unfolding. And then you're going to show up with your pen and your journal, your Monet journal, and receive. And it's just absolutely lovely. That's already an amazing advice to a lot of my listeners, right, on how to go about things. And I would love to ask you if you have a tip or one nugget that you'd like to leave with my audience today.
You know, one of the most beautiful things about my relationship with my husband, and also my other children now too, and even my granddaughter, we're starting to expand this beyond just my husband and I, is something that we do. And I have less than a minute to tell you. So let me tell you quickly. We share 3 things as often as we can with each other that we love about one another. And it's such an amazing feeling to tell the person you love 3 beautiful things about them every day, if not many times a day. It's a really fun thing to do. We do it in the car when we're traveling with our 11-year-old, and she gets to tell us 3 things she loves about us, which makes her feel so important. And we both shower her with things we love and appreciate about her personality and who she is as a person. And it's a joyful game to play. And I would suggest that everyone do it.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I could just feel the love that just builds and builds and builds with that kind of practice. Thank you for that. And lastly, right before we go, do you have a link or a gift that you want to give to my audience?
I have all those things, and they will be in the description of the show, I hope, because we'll include it that way. Does that sound like a good plan?
That is a perfect plan. Jessica, thank you so much for being a guest today on Say Yes to Your Soul.
I loved it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us for this week's delicious episode. Before you jump off, I wanted to remind you to get entered in the raffle this month because I'm giving away more than $2,000 worth of prizes in both private sessions and actual cash. What are those prizes, you ask? Well, One of them is a private 75-minute soul light healing session with me. And that can be healing on various levels. It might be releasing trauma or tuning up your body or your emotions or clearing things like past lives and karma that's been, energetic debris holding you back. This session can be very helpful and sometimes have dramatic results in relationships, money, and in your health. And we're going to do that together on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you live. The second prize is a 60-minute coaching session with me, and that's also going to be on Zoom. So if you want support or clarity for your goals, like help with getting started with a project or just creating an action plan, that is going to be an amazing session. You'll be surprised at how much you come away with. The third prize is a personalized meditation that I will design especially for you. And of course, it's going to be yours to keep. So it's going to be fully personalized in terms of the content, and I will be speaking just to you so that you will be able to resonate with it and receive the maximum benefits that you want to create. Okay, now for the fun stuff, the cash. I have several cash prizes in various amounts. I've got several $50 prizes, $75 prizes, and $100 prizes. So you can see there are many opportunities to win here, and I just want to encourage you to be sure to play because you do need to play to win. All monetary prizes will be delivered through PayPal or Wise. And if you have a different currency, it'll be automatically converted for you. So as long as you have access to an Apple device, you can play. And all the instructions are available on our website at sayyes2yoursoulpodcast.com. That's sayyes2yoursoulpodcast.com. And if you need any support in completing your raffle entry, my team is ready to help you with that. You'll find their email on our webpage as well. So that's it. All the best to you, and may you say yes to your soul.